Organic may, in the start, I'll be writing some basic definitions, and then from these definitions, we'll move on to the naming of organic compounds. Then from naming of organic compounds, we'll move on to the isomers. Isomers के बाद we have reactions of alkanes, alkenes, alcohol, carboxylic acid. So ये सारा syllabus organic का. So first definition you should know is hydrocarbon. Term hydrocarbon is used for organic compound which is made up of carbon and hydrogen only. This is a compound made up of carbon and hydrogen only. This only word has marks, so don't miss word only in its definition. I mean, I'll give you one example before I go further. Let's say, I mean, everybody knows CH4 almost, methane, natural gas, methane. Now, methane is a hydrocarbon, smallest hydrocarbon, by the way. But if I write alcohol, methanol, CH3OH, a methanol and CH4 methane are both organic compounds. They're organic, but only CH4 is hydrocarbon. Okay? Because CH4 consists of carbon and hydrogen only. Methanol, this alcohol consists of oxygen, carbon, hydrogen. So it doesn't consist of carbon, hydrogen only, it consists of oxygen also. So you cannot call methanol a hydrocarbon. You understand this thing? This compound may, you see carbon and hydrogen only, that is the one that you call hydrocarbon. So any other organic compound that you see having oxygen, nitrogen, typically these elements are there. They are not hydrocarbon, although they are organic compounds. तो मुझे पता है इसकी कोई समझ नहीं है आप लोगों को, लेकिन let's say I'll move further. There are types of hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons are basically of two types. Saturated and unsaturated. Saturated hydrocarbon, unsaturated hydrocarbons. So we started with organics after fuel cell last lesson. We are starting with organic chemistry, and I hope you don't like organic. Do you like organic? Good. This is a general statement which students give about organic chemistry, especially those who have learned it a bit. थोड़ी बहुत पढ़ी होती है जिन्होंने, they have this statement. तो आप लोगों ने तो नहीं पढ़ी ना, इसलिए मैंने आपसे ये क्वेश्चन भी नहीं पूछा. किस साइड पे पार्टी बैठी है जिन्होंने पढ़ी है? So सात से तो मैंने पूछ लिया, दो लोग ऑनलाइन बैठे हैं. Saturated have single bonds of carbon. Yes, Fatima, you're a fast bowler of online class. Okay. Saturated, unsaturated. Saturated are alkanes. Abdullah, you have not learned organic yet, right? Up to the final layer menu. You could actually give exam in May, June. You're that much prepared. अक्टूबर नवंबर में दोगे? मई में ज्यादा हो जाएगा. चलो अक्टूबर नवंबर में देके खत्म करो इसको. Alkanes. Saturated hydrocarbons are alkanes. Unsaturated are of two types, alkenes and alkynes. alkane ANE, alkene ENE, alkyne YNE. The spelling difference actually has a lot of meaning. Iske baad we could actually give side headings of these types. I'll explain them. That's what we have in the first chapter. Alkanes, alkenes. Alkynes are not in the syllabus. This is what is famous about alkynes in Pindi and Islamabad. But they are very much in syllabus. Only the reactions of alkynes are not in syllabus, but all the other things, their general formula, their dot cross diagram, combustion reaction, all of it comes in exam. Only the detailed reactions of alkynes are not there. We have alkene, alkenes in detail, and very brief of alkyne. जितना मैं alkynes पढ़ाऊंगा उतना आपने याद करना. Because when it comes in question as a surprise, the students and teachers who have emphasized this a lot, that alkynes are not in syllabus, they get in trouble. Although the question is easy. So इसके बाद आप side heading दे दें नीचे alkanes. Such hydrocarbons which contain all carbon-carbon single bonds in them are called alkanes. So they have all carbon-carbon single bonds. I mean, all of their carbon-carbon bonds are single bonds. The general formula of alkanes, ये तो इसकी definition में आता है. General formula of alkanes is CnH2n plus 2. CnH2n plus 2. Where this n is the number of carbon atoms. CnH2n plus 2, huh? Plus 2. 2n plus 2. N is the number of carbon atoms. For example, the value of N and the formula of alkane. If the value of N, smallest value of N is 1, so this will be like C1, 2n plus 2, 2n, 2 plus 2, 4. Again 1, and so 2 into 1, 2 plus 2, 4. So it would be CH4. And the displayed structure of CH4 is like carbon attached with 4 hydrogens. The valency of carbon is 4, right? ये आपने याद रखना है. Every time you need to make sure that carbon is making 4 bonds. So valency of carbon is 4. So methane में, that's like CH4 methane. इसका नाम भी मैं ब्रैकेट में लिख देता हूँ, methane. Methane has 1 carbon and 4 hydrogens. And then after N1, the value of N will be 2, right? The next value. So if the value of N is 2, then the molecular formula of the alkane will be C2, H2N, 2N will be 4, plus 2, 6, right? Like you put this N2 here and solve this, you'll get C2H6. अब C2H6 का displayed formula, ये तो methane है, displayed formula of C2H6 is like 2 carbon bonded together. अब you got 6 hydrogens, right? इस चीज को बोर्ड पे देख ली बेटा, because I've seen some students even in A level struggling with this thing कि जी which carbon gets how many hydrogen? इस पे 3 hydrogen है, इस पे 2 है, इस पे 1 है, why? This question should be rather cleared in very first lesson of organic in O level even. तो अगर ये नहीं इधर आपको समझ आया तो आगे भी नहीं आएगा. Done? Now something else will fall. तो अब देखो इस कार्बन की वैलेंसी कितनी है, एक बॉन्ड बन गया. You need to complete 3 more bonds. So we put 3 hydrogens around it. 1, 2, 3. Now tell me what should I do with the next carbon? एक bond बना हुआ है. 1, 2, 3. So 6 hydrogens में से 3 on each carbon in this case. So one equal as in each carbon must make 4 bonds. अब alkene में will change it. अब third example एक और add कर लें. The C2H6 is ethane. Ethane. So we'll write at least one more example here. Could you guys tell me the formula of the next? C3. C3H8. C3. N की value 3 होगी ना? So this will be C3. 2N. 2 into 3, 6. Plus 2, 8. So it would be like C3H8. Every time you see there is one more carbon and 2 more hydrogen. One more carbon and 2 more hydrogen. यही difference आ रहा है इनमें. अब C3H6 का displayed formula I'll draw here. So C3H6 में 3 carbon will connect together first through single bond because they all have single bonds in them. Carbon-carbon bond will be single. So 1, 2, 3. Now you guys tell me how many hydrogens should I put on each carbon? Qasim won't. First carbon, how many hydrogen? You got total 8 hydrogen, right? 8 में से how many hydrogen should I give on the first carbon? Yes, Saad, Umar. 3, good. Because इसका एक bond बना हुआ है. I need to make 4 bonds. The 4 bonds, I'll put 3 hydrogens on this. How about the next carbon? How many hydrogens should I put on the next carbon? 2. Good, 2. Because that carbon already has 2 bonds. And the last carbon? 3. 1, 2, 3. 4 bonds every time. Now, if after few weeks, again you wonder why this is getting 2 hydrogen and this is getting 3 hydrogen, then you need to recall that alkanes mein the carbon-carbon bonds are single and every carbon must get 4 bonds and the remaining number of bonds you fill with hydrogens. So the word saturated means all the positions of carbon are filled. No position is free or nothing more can be added in it yet because the valency of carbon is complete, right? The 3 carbon alkane is called propene. Propane. I'll be writing this list once more afterwards. This is just to give you the idea that based on this general formula of alkane CnH2n plus 2, what would be the first 3 alkanes formulas and their structures, right? Even is वो लिखा है. And the reason I call them alkanes because all the carbon-carbon bonds you see are like single bonds, right? I hope you point समझ आया. Yes. The next type of hydrocarbons are unsaturated. They are the like alkenes, alkynes. So we have alkenes primarily in syllabus, so I'll give more time to that, but briefly alkynes also. Jitne syllabus mein. So I'll be using this side now. Now, alkenes are such hydrocarbons which have at least one carbon-carbon double bond, right? I mean, alkanes mein there must be no carbon-carbon double bond, but alkenes mein there must be at least one double bond. There could be 2 double bonds, 3 double bonds, but for a compound to be an alkene, it must have at least one carbon-carbon double bond. So that's why they're called unsaturated. Like their positions are not filled. Like this room, for instance, if we got 20 chairs, so if all the chairs were filled, I'll say the room is saturated with students. But if many are empty, so we say it's unsaturated. So unsaturation in this case also is like some bonds are not filled yet. So इसके बाद next alkene. Alkenes have at least one carbon-carbon double bond. There must be at least one double bond. As I said, there could be more double bonds too, लेकिन minimum एक होना must. Now, the general formula for alkenes is CnH2n. CnH2n. Like the number of hydrogen is twice as much of carbon, for instance. इसको भी हम लिखेंगे examples में. Like value of n, the formula of the alkene, and the structure. We'll be doing naming in detail as a next topic, but अभी मैं सिर्फ alkenes के case में the smallest value of n could be 2. It can't be 1. Because for a double bond to be there, there must be 2 carbons minimum. Up 2 carbon minimum means the value of n has to be 2. So the smallest alkene is 2 carbon alkene. It will start with 2. And based on this formula, Cn, this is 2, 2n will be 4. CnH2n, C2H4. When we draw the structure of this alkene, board पे देखो ये बड़ी basics हैं. If you learn them properly, your organic is strong, and once your organic is good, it's just like, you know, calculation or mathematics के if you know a calculation or question maths में जैसे it gives you full marks, but if you don't know it, you don't get marks out of it. Maybe the organic part chemistry is just like that. And I've seen students saying this so we like organic and its questions are easy. And then on the other hand, बहुत से students कहते हैं सर हमें organic नहीं समझ आती और question तो बिल्कुल ही नहीं समझ आता. So it's very obvious for a topic like अब देखो last time मैंने fuel cell पढ़ाया था, hydrogen fuel cell end पे. For a topic like fuel cell, every student who studies science can at least learn one thing or two things out of it. A fuel cell uses hydrogen gas and it is used in, you know, as an alternate fuel or something. But I mean, you can't say I don't at all understand fuel cell topic, for example. But these are tricky things. These are technical terms and concepts. If you know it very well and you like it. But if you don't know it, then these questions become nightmare. So ये next week naming or isomers में you have to really be focused, regular, attentive, and then you'll have strong basis of organic and that you'll enjoy its questions. अब देखो ethene है, alkene है, and the criteria for being alkene is there must be at least one double bond, right?
284 किसी गाड़ी का नंबर तो नहीं है?
284 गाड़ी का नंबर यार गाड़ी पे आए ये याद फिर रास्ते में तो नहीं खड़ी की ये भी याद है कि नहीं इसी की चेक तो करो जो बंदा इतना बस ठीक है ये इधर कहीं होगा मसला. Okay, so 2 carbon के लिए there must be carbon-carbon double bond. Only then it is an alkene. अब how many hydrogens should I give to this carbon? 5. यूं क्यों कर दो ये 2 माथ खड़ा करे. This carbon already has 2 bonds, right? So you give 2 hydrogens to it. अब 2 hydrogen ऊपर लगाओ नीचे लगाओ left right कोई टेंशन नहीं कहीं भी लगाओ. The next carbon already has 2 bonds. So we give 2 hydrogens to this also.
Yes.
So that's C2H4. C2H4. You know, we still have a double bond here. I can break it and I can add more hydrogens here. It will become this. Yeah. So this compound is unsaturated. It's not saturated yet. अभी इसके bonds पूरे नहीं हुए. I mean bonds complete हैं, but it can get some more hydrogen on it. That's why we call it unsaturated. The types हैं. Alkene is unsaturated, right? So this is like ethene. इसका नाम भी अगर आप लिख लें साथ. Alkenes में the word A and E is changed with E and E. Alkene, ethene. Ethene, right? The next one is 3-carbon alkene. Now tell me the formula of 3-carbon alkene. C3H6. Double कर देना उसको. Now when we draw C3H6, then I need to draw 3 carbons straight connected. Carbon can make chains with each other, like carbon can connect with carbon and make long chains. That's what organic compounds have. So 3 carbon, first we draw single bonds between them. Now if I draw it like this, could I call it alkene? No. It must have at least one double bond, right? So we draw one double bond, maybe on the right hand side or on the left hand side. That's your choice. Let's say if I draw a double bond here. Now once I see the double bond, I could call it an alkene. But I need to fill these 6 hydrogens on it. Now again, you guys tell me which carbon should get how many hydrogens starting? Say 3. 1 hydrogen. Moment. अच्छा हाथ छोड़ो ऐसे आप जैसे करे तो वैसे बताते जाओ. Umar will tell me how many carbon, how many hydrogen? 3. 3. Yeah, good. 3 hydrogen because it's already having 1 bond. Next carbon, right hand side party. Umar, how many hydrogen should I give to this carbon? 1. Good, because this carbon is making already 1, 2, 3 bonds, right? And the last carbon? 2. सेल नहीं लगी हाइड्रोजन की. 3 डालो 4 डालो जितने बॉन्ड्स रह गए बस उतने 2 बॉन्ड्स रह गए तो 2 हाइड्रोजन. वैसे आजकल लॉन वगैरह की सेल लगी हुई है. सीजन चेंज हो गया एकदम. एसी चल गए. ब्लैंकेट से डायरेक्ट एसी पे आ गए. नो फैंस. वही कह रहा हूँ ना. I've never seen this happening in Pindi at least. Yes, chemistry. Oh yes, I like that. I know. I like such questions. How is he very what? This. कोई बात नहीं. This guy is intelligent. You have no idea how the weather of Pindi can change. You're sitting in chemistry class and you go in physics and it might be raining outside. And the moment rain starts, you'll be freezing. Moment, what are you telling me? Even I have a sweater in my car, so that in case till May almost, we need to be ready all here. Kisi time. 2 days of rains and it's cold. It's not South Africa, Umar. You brought a lot of hot weather with you, I guess. ग्लोबल वार्मिंग से नहीं हुआ, हमारी हरकतों से हुआ है. ये सारी चीजें. आप जिस स्कूल में मैं जा रहा हूँ बच्चे कह रहे हैं ग्लोबल वार्मिंग आ गई. हमारी हरकतें ग्लोबल वार्मिंग हमने की है ना इनडायरेक्ट. अब उसको ब्लेम नहीं करो ना. पहले अपने आप को ब्लेम करेंगे तो ग्लोबल वार्मिंग कंट्रोल में. The 3 carbon alkene is propene. सब रिकॉर्ड हो गया. देखो बड़ा मैं कंट्रोल करता हूँ अपने आप को, लेकिन क्या करूँ. अच्छा, एल्काइंस भी पढ़ लेंगे, खत्म कर. एल्काइंस टेक्निकली इतने नहीं है ज़ाहिर सिलेबस में, तो उसको हम उतनी रिस्पेक्ट देंगे, लेकिन जितना मैं लिखूंगा उतना याद करना है, बच्चे इतना भी नहीं करते। ALKYNE एल्काइन, एल्काइन क्या हुआ? अच्छा, अब alkynes are the ones which must have at least one carbon-carbon triple bond. They have at least one carbon-carbon triple bond. And their general formula is CnH2n minus 2. CnH2n minus 2. Now the smallest alkyne even has minimum 2 carbon. So we'll write 2 or 3 of them also. The smallest value of n for an alkyne is 2. And based on the formula, general formula that I wrote here, if Cn is 2, 2n minus 2, 4 minus 2, it will be 2 again, right? It will be C2H2. And if I draw the structure of alkyne, the carbon-carbon having a triple bond, and then each carbon will get one hydrogen. Okay, देखो carbon के 3 bonds बनने, one hydrogen on each carbon. Then if the value of n is 3, that will be C3, 2n हो जाएगा 6, 6 minus 2, 4, C3H4. Now that will be like 3 carbons having one triple bond. Now I need to put all the remaining hydrogens in the one hand that I have, 4. अब आप बताओ again, this carbon must get 3 hydrogens, right? Because it's already having one bond. So 3 hydrogens. And the next carbon, no hydrogen, because this is already getting 4 bonds. So this carbon having 3 bonds, so 1 hydrogen. So because you got 4 hydrogens in total, one gets 3, one get 1 only. Middle carbon doesn't get any hydrogen on it. So this much of detail of alkynes is something that one should know. That they have triple bond, the general formula is this, and if you get the structure of this compound, you should say it's an alkyne. इतना आना चाहिए. बाकी reactions or naming alkynes की नहीं. So I'll just end it here. We'll continue from here. I'll repeat again. Organic की classes में first few days, 5-6 lessons are very important. If you miss one, you sort of miss the connection between the next topics, and that will really not be a good idea, I would say. So that would be all then. Love it.